Across Nigeria, climate change isn't a future flex, it's today's reality. But from this crisis, a movement is rising. Women, youth, and marginalized communities are no longer waiting to be heard. They are leading the fight for climate justice.
I learned a lot from the AACJ training. Like, we stopped using firewood in our house. I also learned how to use social media to amplify about climate change and how to share information regarding to climate change. And I learned how to advocate for climate change.
So a da din da muke ganin su a walakance muka mai da community din mu very dirty, ba mu san menene ya kamata mu yi ba. Sai da ST Hope suka zo suka yi mana darasi akan shi cewa suna da amfani. To ni kuma da na dawo bayan sun mana wannan darasin, na fara samun buhuna, ina tara ledoji, ina tara goruna. Idan na tara su, zan kira masu siya. Idan suka zo za su siya da kuɗi mai yawa. Idan suka sai wayannan gorunan da ledodin, zan yi adashi da kuɗin. Idan ni adashi da kuɗin, ni na san abin da nake amfana da kuɗin.
Across Nigeria, there are different climate issues that different parts and different regions face. But in North Central particularly, there are issues of drought in some places, there are issues of erratic rainfalls, there are issues of deforestation, there are issues of flooding. And all of these things are interconnected and in one way or another affects or leads or worsens another. And surely, like we already know, women, vulnerable groups, persons with disability, children, old people are the most affected by the impacts of climate change. And this is due to the already existing inequalities that now make it harder for them to adapt to the effects of climate change.
We tend to trek from my community down to Tunga just to fetch water, which is about 5 kilometers away. And when you come back, you tend to get tired and you'll not be able to do your work with so much energy just like you used to.
The North Central is one of Nigeria's most affected regions. Women walk further for water, farmers lose crops to unpredictable weather, and children struggle to learn in overheated schools, while persons with disabilities are often left behind.
The flood entered my house. So when they were saying climate change, how does it affect you as a person with disability? And now I said, when water entered my house, I was inside the house. Myself and my husband were all persons with disability. And we have 2 children. I just enter. Like flood. Imagine a person with physically challenged. I enter inside the water like frog. I was touching again. I said, what is this?
Recognizing these inequalities, the African activists for climate justice emerged as a continental movement. A consortium of 5 organizations worked across 8 African countries to unite vulnerable groups in demanding equitable climate solutions. In Nigeria, this movement found expression through Femnet's partnership with Education as a Vaccine, EVA.
As a member of Femnet, in this initiative that wants to change the way climate justice advocacy is done on the continent, and especially talking about bringing the voices of women and girls in their diversity to the forefront of advocacy for climate justice.
So we worked particularly with organizations that were deeply rooted in their communities. They understood the realities of the communities. They knew the people, and so they could also help to implement or develop programs that could directly speak to those communities. We worked with ECHI, Beacon, and Esteem Hub, both in Niger, Nasarawa, and Benue.
The collaboration with organizations already rooted in affected communities built on trust and local knowledge, shaping narratives building movements, and increasing political will for just climate policies.
Farko na da na dawo nan anguwar ina cikin matsalar iska da ruwa. Idan aka kama shekara zuwa aka kama ruwa, iska duk sai ya yaye mun fale-falen gida kowane lokaci. Ga ruwa ita gudu yana kwararo mana gida. Sanadiyar mutanen nan da suka zo mana suka wayar da mu yasa na dasa bishiyoyi har guda 6 ga sunan kuma yanzu ko ruwa ake ba ma jin iska irin da. Wasu ma ga sunan ma duk ma basu ma riga sun gama tashi ba ma.
In these communities, women farmers, recyclers, and groups became climate advocates.
I'm a great village farmer. I used to farm yam. And before now, we used to buy the liquid fertilizer, apply for my farm yam. But since I started meeting with AACJ, this is the 4th year, they introduced us in using the organic fertilizer, use the manure, which we use the animals, and apply it on our yam. Now, when the issue of smart agriculture came in, they taught us how to use sack to plant. I know when the AACJ project, when they came to Nasarawa State, and they came and they advised us, the first training, I have to go and put it into practice. You know, each time they invited me for a project or for a program, after the program, I will have to go and do step down because I have a lot of women who are working together under me. So I have to go and do a step down training for them.
Kafin dai wayannan mutanen da su shigo mana gaskiya ina yin abincin sayarwa da estin wop suka zo an koya muna wannan ledodin da muke yarwa da gorori muna yarwa da robobi sun koya muna cewa ashe arziki ne a gurin. To idan mun tara shi ledodi za mu tara shi a cikin buhu, in mun tara ledodinmu a cikin buhu za mu ajiye roba ma za mu tara a buhu, za mu ajiye gora ma za mu tara za mu ajiye a buhu. To za mu samu mu kira 'yan gongon za su zo su siya su ba mu kuɗi mu yi amfani da shi. Za mu sai su abubuwan da ya kamata ma yaranmu, za mu iya tarawa kuma mu ajiye mu taimaka ma yaranmu in za su je makaranta. Duka za mu iya taimaka musu akan haka.
Even young girls were not left out, as at least 300 students became advocates through the climate justice clubs in secondary schools.
Through this climate justice club, I learned about afforestation. I planted trees around my house. We planted grass carpets to stop erosion.
While being on the field and engaging with other partners, I would say, first of all, at the inception of the project, getting buy-in from stakeholders to be able to actually get involved in the project. But so far, I think we've been able to create some level of awareness in regards to that in the last couple of years.
I had known about the idea of climate change and the harm that it was causing to the environment, but I did not know that there was such a thing as climate justice and the fact that, women and girls suffered more from the impacts that is caused by climate change. And just having that engagement with them, they organized training for us, there was support for us to produce reports, to create a project around reporting and just doing advocacy on climate justice. And it was really impactful because I was able to get the buy-in of the organization I was working with at that time. That is the weekend show on Africa Independence Television, one of the largest TV stations in Nigeria, actually in Africa. And we got their buy-in to launch Climate Chat, which was just focused on highlighting the social inequalities around climate change in Nigeria, particularly for women and girls, especially living with disabilities, and also even for young people. But I think that the most fascinating part of learning about climate justice for me was being able to go into some of these communities, speak, or not really, but just creating stories that spoke to the challenges that the women and girls in some of these communities were facing, like in Niger State, Bangana, where they suffered from drought.
I've had the incredible opportunity of working with young, brilliant Nigerian women through the course of this AACJ project who are at the forefront of advancing climate justice, ensuring that everybody is aware of these issues using their platform also, which has now become a rally ground for change and not just a platform, because these are the platforms where they have been able to merge people with policy, where everybody comes together to advance issues of climate justice from different angles, from different regions, and they've been able to carry out different projects that includes youth mobilization, grassroots mobilization, community building, awareness creation, capacity building, policy influencing, and a lot of other things in between. I personally have also championed these causes. I've used my platforms to create awareness, to create policy discussions, to spur up conversations basically that would ensure that climate justice is not just fair but is also equal.
The impact of these efforts extended to communities, enabling collective women-led advocacy.
A few of the communities that have engaged in, if you go there, you see their nursery. They are producing their seedlings to plant now. They know how to conserve some of these plants. We campaign against indiscriminate tree felling, that is tree cutting. So they are actually getting it.
I feel the whole project thing has opened my eyes beyond what I used to know. We used to just think climate change was about the weather, the rainy season and the dry season. But working on this project has made me realize that it is beyond that. It also has to do with plastics and how we take care of our environment, how it all comes back to us.
It is the help of beacon use that encourage us, sensitize us on the aspect of mitigating the climate change issue of climate change. They encourage afforestation. They sensitize people on various aspects of mitigation.
And also we visited the Commissioner of Water Resources last section, Mr. Ugo.
The project was able to do basically is also to amplify the voices of these women, young girls, and also women with disability, where I can speak with all manner of authority that they now have an amplified voice because they are able to connect with decision makers and other relevant actors in the state to seek for climate justice, to seek for inclusion, to seek for better participation and implementation of key strategies of government. And just to add, one of the success stories is the National State Climate Change Policy that right from the beginning they've been included in the design and also and even pushing through the legislature, where they actually have some engagement with the National State House Committee Chairman on environment and housing. And then you can see from the document the women are also given an opportunity. They are also included as part of the steering committee members on the policy.
With more than 58,000 people reached on a network of young girls and about 2,000 women farmers advocating, climate justice leads, transforming lives and livelihoods.
They're able to get a solar borehole for us to see the borehole, and after the borehole, they were able to get a fish pond for us, and they came and put the fish for us, and even with the feet. And now they even give the system of aquaponic system of planting, where you will plant without soilless. That as a woman with disability, you don't even need to stress yourself again. And I hope and I pray that this place will be a tourist center.
I'm thanking Education as a Vaccine, who has been able to assist and help ECI to reach poor people like us, who don't know anything about weather and climate change.
The way they have used to train us help us very well.
Saboda gaskiya mun ji daɗi, mun yi amfani kuma muna kan jin daɗin amfanin abin da suka koya mana. Mun gode Allah ya saka da alkhairi.
I hope that beyond this program, that we continue to push for climate just policies and gender just policies in Nigeria. We know that half of our population is girls and women in the diversity, and we cannot see a society or a community or an environment of justice without taking on the issues that affect this group of people. So for climate just solutions, for climate just policies, for climate just actions in this country, we really need to continue to see that the issues of women and girls are captured, are addressed, in the ways in which it really impacts them positively. I do hope that we have more resourcing going to, addressing those climate issues. I hope that we have more resourcing also addressing the intersections of the issues that women and girls face when it comes to climate change impacts in Nigeria.
Aspire to say is that the school clubs will translate to other schools, and if possible the states also make one of the clubs that every school should have. I know that schools have JETS club, they have debate clubs, they probably have dance clubs, so I think that's one of the initiatives that I think that should scale up, and in fact scale up to all of Africa. For our narratives, changing narratives, particularly for the journalists and the advocates, I'm hoping that our work with them also inspires them to further raise awareness, and overall I'm hoping that this groundwork that we've done, we're also able to have more women's voices in climate spaces. So we don't want tokenized representations in climate justice spaces. We want women and girls to be fully immersed in the process, and we want their voices to also reflect in the conversations, in the decisions, in the papers, and the policies that are formulated. We want their voices to be cemented and to be heard.
With special thanks to the people and governments of Niger, Benue, and Nasarawa states, we also extend our gratitude to our partners, Esteem Hub Foundation, ECAI, and Beacon Youth Initiative for their collaboration and commitment to advancing climate justice. Join the conversation, take action. Together, we can make climate justice a reality.